How do you get your boyfriend to propose to you without dragging your integrity in the dust and proposing to him? This is Hilton Samuel from the Love and Relationship Center, and we have been looking at how to get your boyfriend to propose to you naturally without having to force him, without having to heckle him or be a nagger to him. And in the last video, we look at several things that you shouldn't do. And in this video, what can you do? I'll give you two fundamental principles upon which you can operate that would lead your boyfriend wanting to pop the question to you and be happily involved in the process of committing and taking the relationship to the next level. What can you do? There are two things, two fundamental platforms on which you must operate. And the first one is to live a life beyond him. I'm going to say that again because you may not have come across this before. What is it to live a life beyond your current boyfriend? You know, you might be living life with him. You might be living life doing things together, going out together, making decisions together, even living together. You have what I would call merge lives. Now, that is well and good, but you need to move and get the situation where you're living beyond him. You might even be living for him. You know, when you get into relationships, you train each other. You please him. You sacrifice for him. You look out for his well-being and his welfare. You organize yourself around him. You try to avoid doing things that will upset him and get him angry. So you live for him, but I am asking you to live beyond him. How do you live life beyond your boyfriend? Now, first, let me tell you a problem that you might be having right now. You might be functioning as the wife. You might be functioning as the person that you want to become without the security, without necessarily going through the process of having a church wedding or even having a wedding down at the registry and having your friends celebrate with you. Right. But you have to understand, being a girlfriend isn't the same as being a wife. And I have a very good example. You know, you might be in organizations where the boss or the manager leaves and someone has to act in that capacity. So you would have something called the acting manager, the person who acts in the position. And usually it is the person who is below that manager, the deputy manager, who begins to act. I'm always fascinated by this term, the acting manager, because in reality, even though you are given the title acting manager, you technically are the manager. You're doing the work of the manager, and in some instances you're doing your work and along with the manager's work, but you're not getting the full salary for what you're doing. You're not even secure in the role, although you might be doing it for months, for days and weeks and even months, carrying out the role and the function as the manager would have. They may hire someone to come in and replace you. And they may, get someone else and put that person in the position. And what is even worse, the person that they recruit, you may have to train them. So, if you think about that scenario, for a little while, it's similar to you acting the role of the wife you want to become. And you need to be very careful with that, because if you're functioning as the wife without the security of being the wife, then you have a very big problem on your hand. And hence, this is why I'm suggesting that you live life beyond your boyfriend. What that actually means and how that would pan out, how that would look in real life, is that you live a separate life outside him, distinct and separate. So you have friends that you still are in touch with. You don't whittle down your world so that your life revolves only around him. You have interests and hobbies. You have an alternative source or sources of happiness, of validation, of fulfillment. You live a life that is parallel to the life that you're living with him. You enjoy life with him, yes, but you don't depend only on him to give you the validation, the fulfillment that you need. In other words, you keep him on the edge. You do things independent of him. You still go out with him, but you still go out with your friends and even friends of the opposite gender. You sometimes separate out your life from him because you do not want to be in the position where you make him your universe and then things bottom out and you have to start from square one again. So you live life beyond him. I'm going to do a separate video giving you the pragmatic, practical things that you can do in order to live life beyond your boyfriend. But I want you to understand that that's a foundational principle upon which you need to operate. Live life beyond your current boyfriend. In the next video, we will look at how to continue to be the one he has to pursue. How to continue to be the one he has to pursue. He has pursued you, he has conquered you, but you still need to be the bird that wants to be caught. And in the next video, we will explain how to operate so that he continues to pursue you until he pops the question and gets to the point where you are conquered and want to be conquered by going through the process of making a commitment. Talk soon.